2v2 players in all of South America. And again, we were at this point where we were like, man, we just got to get them to a LAN, dude. We want to see how they're going to do against the rest of this world. So it's so great to see Power doing also very well for himself here. Now that it seems like his teammate is back, that's leveled Power up.
Power versus Lores. Of course, we were talking about Power and the big upset they gave. And Lores, I mean, a consistent threat here in South America as well, sporting the Kaya. So Lopez and Lores both playing Kaya back-to-back. Could be a little confusing for those at home, but this is, in fact, Lores on the Kaya.
I think the easiest thing here is, like, we know Lores is Kaya.
Yeah.
Like, Lores and Kaya with this setup are, like, totally synonymous with one another. So it's very easy for all the longtime Brawlhalla heads. Shouts out to Lores, who finds the first KO 45 seconds into this game. But one thing you and I talked about earlier when we were looking at the bracket in EU was we were seeing in our winners semifinals, we were seeing old guard and new guard, old guard and new guard. We're seeing that kind of a little bit here, given that Lores is more of the quote-unquote new guard of South America, especially compared to Power. And now Lopez is coming back. I'm going to consider him quote-unquote part of the new guard, even though he's been a long-time player, because he's been out of the scene for a long time compared to Wes, who has been a long-time player. So we're seeing a lot of the same vibes coming through. Is he going to get the two-stock lead up on Power? Lores is just handling him.
And still, Sweatbees one's unable to grab the wall there, but able to get back by the skin of their teeth. Power looking in a very, very bad spot so far. Lopez has been playing absolutely amazing as that Sig is able to cover the landing in the corner. And that's a 3-stock to 1 lead, man. This is rough. Spear comes online again, a Sair into the Nair immediately, goes for a big juggle, goes for the recovery to read the attempt to escape high, but Laura is just like, I don't need to respect you covering me going low yet. Got to earn that respect from Lores, who's playing cutthroat so far.
And keep in mind, this is the Power that took out Kaina.
Yeah.
This Power beat Kaina, who was second place at the World Championship and one of the, if not the top, like, online player in South America. What is Lores on? Because we used to look at Lores and we were like, yeah, he's kind of junior.
Yeah.
Like, he's great in his own right, but kind of is I'm you but stronger.
Yeah.
The fact that Lores is the one on the winner's side of the bracket, making it much deeper than Kaina. Maybe the student has surpassed the master.
Lores here with a pretty sizable lead and just looking to keep the pace down and not trying to give too much, especially against Rayman, a character that has really, really consistent early KOs on the edge guarding the gauntlets is going to be big. And you see that Power is willing to stay on the gauntlets knowing, hey, I got to make a comeback here. No better way to do it than on the gauntlets. Big open up, gets the side air there and tries to follow up, but Lores isn't giving any panic option, is staying absolutely stone cold on the Kaya, and that's going to be a clean 2-stock. Wow.
They're going to be moving to the next one very quickly. I don't even know if we're going to get through all the replays with the way Lores handled him.
Yeah.
And you see the mix between the weapons right there. He did a great job KOing with the bow. We saw 2 different stocks taken away with the bow. Of course, we also saw the signature KO with the spear as well. But it's kind of been primarily the spear in a sort of 3-to-2 ratio. But we also know that, like, Lores certainly has his games where he has more of his damage on the bow. So he's truly a Kaya master out there. He masters both of the weapons that are inherent to this legend. He also has a mastery of the signature kit as well. So everything unique to the Kaya, he has a mastery of. He has a grip on.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with what Power is holding on to here. Hardly did we see Power on the axe. We're just basically only seeing Gauntlet so far, and Spear's going to be really good at disrupting what Gauntlet wants to get going. A lot of times you're looking to burst into the range of a weapon that's really good at getting you away from them and then comboing you off of those big open-ups.
Yeah, Spear really does have some decent defensive options.
Yeah, don't come near me.
Great range tools. It has great combo starters. The axe recovery, though, is going to take off the top. Lores was not ready for Power to push that one, and Power has a very nice lead here. All of a sudden, things are starting to change, forcing the edge guard situation. He's going to back up and be safe, though.
Yeah, I don't think Power is ready to catch that gravity cancel, so I think instead just saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with what's about to happen offstage. I'm just going to go back to center and hold on and say, hey, I'll get another opening and I'll get more damage. You're up a stock. You know, you don't need to press the issue anymore. But every time Lores puts himself in the corner, the issue is being pressed by Power on the gauntlets. Really trying to smother Lores and not giving any options back to center stage. Once again, puts himself back in the corner, gets immediately punished with a neutral light as the Sig comes through as well.
Man, those inlights, those dash inlights right over the corner has been such an effective edge guarding tool for Power. There's the breakdance coming through. Even though it started off the way that wasn't facing Power, of course, you whip those legs around you. That second part of it did make contact. Lores at least evening up the stocks here. Power's going to be looking for a weapon, and then he's going to be looking for the KO to send Lores on the final stocks very quickly. Inlight, not a KO tool anymore in Brawlhalla after it got some of that force nerf. The side air, he wants to send Lores over to the edge, but no, it's actually off the top that he gets the KO with the recovery. Full stock lead for Power.
When you play gauntlets in this way as Power, you're forcing Lores to constantly be thinking about mixing up the recovery. And you're constantly in this state of like, I can't give them the low, easy edge guard. I can't give them the low, easy edge guard. But Power was just so ready to cover the high recovery. It was like it wasn't even a mix-up. It was exactly what Power had played out.
Because every other time, the dash inlights, the D6,
Covering
he's worried
low,
about right in front of him, and he's worried about down. All of a sudden, switching things up and chasing that hard. He didn't chase Lores like hardly that hard at all, almost any other time in those edge guards on the right.
So much mental stack from Lores as Lores looks to
Why
even
did he
up the
side
stock
air?
from here.
PJ, why did he side air there instead of recovery? I want to give him credit because Lores is a very smart and very talented player, and this map does have a very high ceiling. I wonder if the D-Light recovery is the better option, given that you were closer to the center of the stage than the left or the right edge.
The only thing I can think of is that Power was on Axe, so potentially you get reversaled in a bad way. You lose too many resources, but even then I do agree. But fortunately, Lores was able to close out it pretty easily with that side air.
Oh, unfortunately for Lores, though, dude, it's fists to face. Now Power swapping over to the Axe. We did see the recovery KO off the top. Is he just going to fish for Sayers? No, he's going to go back over to the gauntlets, bouncing him off the stage, and Power ties up the set 1-1 here against Lores.
It is just so much mental stack to have a player like Power constantly checking all of your recovery options. You want to go low, I'll cover it. You want to go high, I'll cover it. You want to try to kind of wait and float your way back to the stage, I'll cover it with neutral light. I will continuously put you in these situations because I am just ready for every option. And you see there the side air, what a creative option to cover the attempt for Lores to slip underneath and maybe avoid the edge guard. Not on Power's watch. Power playing absolutely clinically on the gauntlet so far.
He's taking apart like everything that Lores has, and it's not even always like gigantic strings where he's getting a dodge read, and it's the most clippable moment that you'll find on youtube.com/Brawlhalla. It's really like just really methodical gameplay. His edge guarding is stellar. His neutral game is second to none. His whiff punish is working really well. He's leveled up so much in just like a very short time against Lores.
Yeah, and I was talking about how in Game 1 we didn't see a lot of the Axe, but Power realizing that when Lores starts realizing, okay, I want to start going high because Gauntlet's so good on the ground, the Axe comes in and just does so much and is a really present KO threat in the air. So any part of the stage that you're on is not a safe place versus Power, but Lores starting off with a big lead here. The downlight into the Sarah is going to be able to close out that stock. Man, it is so back and forth so far.
Yeah. It would not surprise me if we make it all the way to Game 5. Last stock red for both of these players.
What a catch!
Nice nair,
that was so clean!
And the ground pound! Started off in sweat beads, but did touch the wall. Lores completely disengaging from that, safely getting back on the platform, has still taken quite a few hits. Weapon spawn comes in, he grabs it. Sair into the neutral light, into the neutral air. Power's looking for that KO move. He just wants to get below Lores so he can maybe find a recovery, but Lores just keeps zoning him out.
Exactly what was happening in game number 2 to Lores. Lores now giving Power a taste of their own medicine here. With the spear of all weapons, the Nair sends offstage once again. Power can't find any comfort. No matter how much you swing and how much you try to dodge, Lores is just covering all the options. Absolutely impossible to get back here. Now Power, though, having the stage, and Lores... Fine game.
No. Lores had such a high lead and he ends up falling there. That is so brutal for Lores. I don't know how much longer he would have lived, but there was a potential for him to at least get the second stock before losing that first one. Coming back in, and see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. South Americans have no issue going in unarmed, except, you know, kind of Lores is taking a beating here. Goes back to the main stage, does grab the bow. Looking for the D-Light so he can find, goes for a Nair there, and that actually gets the KO instead of the recovery, because again, we talked about it earlier. The recovery sends that 45-degree angle, which is the furthest possible blast zone location that you can send your opponent.
Exactly, and not only that, but also hitting a very close hitbox of that and knowing, okay, they're going to get popped up vertically. That's why I got Nair for. Now
that's it.
Yeah, that's the dodge read. The classic Gauntlet down air into dodge read, gravity cancel, side light, recovery. If that's not one of the most classic Gauntlet combos, I don't know what is. Clean stuff from Power to close out and make this even game again. the bow, and yeah, a lot of these neutral lights are connecting on Power, who's forced now to go high as the mix-up because you're on Axe. You don't have quite the fastest moves on the ground. There's a big open-up, goes for the Sig there to catch a dodge in, doesn't quite get it. Power still holding onto this Axe in center stage and really can't find any answers to this bow. Finally does, landing with that downer. It's going to convert into a big string. The downer connects again, gets the ground pound, sends off stage. Once again, Laura's able to touch the wall and get back some options, but still stuck in a bad spot. The unarmed comes through once again.
The spear's gonna have to deliver here, and it does from the middle of the stage. D-Sig for Lores. He's now up 2-1 in this set versus Power.
Yeah, that got a little scary there as Power started to kind of pull away when he got that initial down air string on that last stock. Yeah, hits the interior hitbox, immediately realizes, okay, I'm going to go for the nair there. And yeah, this was looking very scary, but finally able to catch a dodge through with that Sig from Kaya.
Now, the reason I said the spear has to deliver here is because you saw the damage numbers at the end of that game. It was primarily spear for Lores. It was 325 points of damage compared to the 74 from Bow. We saw the D-Light Nair. That's probably a third of that 74 damage that he put out on the Bow. So that was a very spear-focused game for Lores yet again. That's the weapon he's had the most success with. And now Power, he saw that success and is like, yeah, I can play a spear too. I'm going to play Hattori.
Absolutely. This is the speed difference between the two is crazy. Like, kind of taking the same game plan and that burstiness of Gauntlets and giving it to Spear. It seems like he's playing Gauntlets on Spear right now.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on?
That is a proper 33-second honorable KO. He didn't get a goofy read or interrupted someone in their recovery on the edge and it was like a lucky KO. That was just pure explosive power, pure string power, and he's doing it on the sword as well.
This is, I mean, it's just so clean. I mean, the sword even, and now being up a stock and just having no fear at all, just continuing to rack on as much damage as possible. The side air sends off stage, goes for a downlight slip-off, but gets the classic Hattori Sig to catch the jump and goes off with the stare.
What is happening? PJ, what is happening in this region? Like, we knew it was going to be crazy. We didn't know it was going to be this crazy.
Big open up from Power once again, just going for the bread and butter, knowing, hey, I'm up a stock, any damage is big extra credit. I'm up 2 stocks, actually. The spear comes back online. You're unarmed off stage versus Power, who's been so consistent at finding these big pokes. Dashes in with a jab, gets punished, and these downers from Lores aren't really leading to much. Both of them tapping each other in the head. As they don't quite find an opening, finally does get one there. Goes for a gravity cancel. Sig to position themselves for an edge guard, doesn't quite find it. The recovery not enough to kill either.
Okay. That's going to deny the 3 stock. Signs of life here for Lores. We're likely going to see that game 5 that we kind of predicted after we saw game 1 and game 2. Between these two players, Power with a massive lead. Lores doing the best he can to fight this back. Nice string potential. A lot of uninterrupted damage coming out from the bow of Lores. Going for the Acno over there on the corner with the GC Sig.
Stuck and able to jump over that with the sword and whip punish accordingly. Goes off stage with that downer to try to cover the immediate option and finds one there. That's a big pogo stick connection. Gets the recovery, sent back off stage and rinse and repeat. Downlight into Sair. Beautiful stuff to avoid the Sig and also get the punish on it. How did he just switch from those weapons to those weapons and make it look exactly the same?
I don't know.
What just happened?
Everyone was focused on Lopez, man. They didn't think about Power.
He went axe, gloves, and now he's on spear, sword, and it's working.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
That's straight up one of the most explosive spears that I've ever seen in my life. Dude, his ability to get in the dead zone right there and then find the GCD light into the side air. This is scary because Kai is a quick legend.
Yeah.
That's one of the things she has, her ability to get in and out the range. But when you're playing a legend like Hattori, your ability to get in and out is just completely magnified by the high movement speed that Hattori has. And also, he's playing weapons with solid range.
I mean, such a big switch, and of course, the sword being a lot better at getting Lores off of them. Like with a lot of you see a lot of down airs too to catch dashes in, catch Lores' attempts at aggression because so far it's been all Power. But Lores, this game and this first stock being a lot better. I like that way from Power and gets a recovery off of it and continues to hold the center stage, but it switches back to Lores, and it is very push and pull so far. Even though the damage is slightly in Power's favor, I feel like Lores could easily find a way to close out the stock here. I like Sair.
That's going to be tough. He's going to be over on the edge. I'm really curious how he would have finished that off, because there was a time where it was like a GC sidelight, and that was the most normal way for players to finish off stocks like that, because it was super quick. Loras is actually going to be the first one to find the KO here, and I want to do a little bit of math on the damage that Power did last game. 565 in total. Divide that by 3, 188.3. You turn red at 150. So he's hitting one move after turning his opponent red, and then he finds the KO move. That is incredible efficiency.
Efficiency is what you're going to need if you're going to make this comeback, and that signature is going to be quite efficient at closing out that stock, as Power now evens up the stock count, the damage lightly in the favor of Loras, but still, now you have to kind of find a weapon versus the sword, and moving in and out is Power, just continuously playing absolutely shifty. You can't pin down Power. Finally goes for a big read on that ground pound. No punish from Loras here. Oh, I like that, that dodge in and then back, chase dodge in and then out, and the whiff punish is just insane.
His presence over on the corner has been really strong against Loras. He's been like dashing off the stage and then dashing back right as his character leaves the stage. Okay, the double light into the side air. Both players are even. He doesn't fall into that one, but Loras pulls out of it early so that he can find that neutral light as Power tries to get around it and punish. GC in light. Loras, he gets the dodge in time off of cooldown and just barely touches the wall. Power gets over to the weapon, goes for the in-sig, whiffs, side sig is the one to finish that stock off.
We haven't been seeing Power use a lot of sigs on the Hitori. The last game, I don't think we saw any take stock. So now seeing Power utilizing the full extent of this kit just adds to that one extra step, that one extra mental tax that Loras has to worry about now, as he's able to get the weapon away from Loras as Power looks to find one here. But the unarmed, as you said, everyone being very confident in that. The neutral light comes through, and great signature to get back not only to the wall, but also put out a hitbox and punishes. You need to respect Loras on the ledge there.
Power searching for the weapon, grabs the spear very quickly. He's going to be hoping for some of that explosive spear that we saw previously, but Loras is just completely hitting these nairs.
Oh, that's it!
Is that it?
Can Loras tap this one in? The Sarah gets avoided by that drift
punish
down.
The landing?
No punish on the landing. Now the Power in control with the sword and avoids the sig there, gets a down air, but not quite much more than neutral air, or neutral light sends away the side air as well, and weapon touch is continuing the pressure, and it doesn't KO.
That's gonna be it, and Loras takes game 5 in a nail biter of a set, PJ. What an incredible performance between both of those players, dude.
I mean, look how close the difference between the two is 27 damage dealt. I mean, that's an absolute...